convoke me.
What's up, Magic fam? It's Blue here from Blue Bears Games, and for this video, I will be unboxing the third of the 5 March of the Machine Commander precons called Divine Convocation. This precon is red, blue, and white, also known as Jeskai, and suggests using Kasla the Broken Halo as the main commander. Once again, this precon contains cards for the plane chase mechanic, which I won't be going into, but if you want to learn more about it, you can look it up on the Wizard's website. Let me start by telling you what Kasla does first, and then I'll go from there. Kasla is 6 mana to cast for a 5/4 Legendary Angel ally with an impressive 5 abilities. The first is called Convoke, and appears to be the theme that this entire deck is based around. Convoke means that your creatures can help cast this spell, and how it works is that each creature that you tap while casting a spell with Convoke pays for either 1 generic mana or 1 mana of that creature's color. The next 3 abilities are just the basic creature keyword abilities of Flying, Vigilance, and Haste, which aren't bad for Kasla, but don't advance the theme of the deck very much. And the final ability states that whenever you cast another spell that has Convoke, you scry 2, then draw a card, which is actually quite useful for digging into your deck and finding the cards that you need when you need them. We can obviously see that this deck will have a bunch of different Convoke spells, so let's see exactly what they put together for us. Before I rip this bad boy open and show you what's inside, I want to take a moment to let you know that if you're in the market for an awesome looking deck box, playmat, or sleeves, please visit our sponsor at arcane-fortress.com and take a look at what they have. The deck boxes that they have are some of the best I've ever used, and you can even get an additional 5% off of your total purchase if you use discount code BLUEBEAR at checkout. Additionally, if you do want to take a look at the deck box up close and personal, check out the link that just popped up on the top right of your screen. That will take you to a review I did of the deck box in full detail. Now, let's get to it and see what's in the box. So as you can see, this is the front side of the box that it comes in for the Divine Convocation one. It's the red, white, and blue one. Here's the back of the box. And as I've always said, this isn't really the important part. What's really important is what's actually inside the box. So without a ripcord, let's go ahead and open it. I hate that they took the ripcord away. It makes it easier to open the box. But let's go ahead and get it anyway. Alright. So throw that aside. Here's the front part that they give you all the little counters, the little stupid dividers that I don't really have any use for. And again, I'm going to ask if anybody found the use, please let me know. More counters. The back side's going to have more too. And then all the rest of the stuff's going to fall out as I do it. Last time I did this, I forgot to show you guys the die because I forgot it was in there for the planar die. So let me get all this stuff out and then I'll show you one at a time. Alright, so let's get the box, which, by the way, it's put in there in a precarious way, so, like, I ruined the box a little bit, which kind of sucks, but I'll get it all back together. So here's the deck box that they give you. Again, they went back to the vertical versus the horizontal ones. This is what it looks like on all sides. And then the top, and then, of course, the bottom is nothing. Alright, here's the planar die that I forgot to show you last time. It's blank on all sides except for the planar part. That one's a nice green color. The life wheel. The deck itself, which we'll get into, the insert, which I've shown you before, doesn't really have a whole lot. It has the rules, you know, the extra rules for Commander, the special rules, and on the other side has a little thing about whatever the Commander is that is helming this deck, so we'll throw that to the side as well. Inside here is the sample pack for the collectors, boosters, and then, of course, the planes, which I will show you the planes first real quick. Let's get them out of the way, and like last week, I won't be going too far into it other than just showing you real quick what they are. So I'll zoom in a little bit and then just show you real quick. So Reality Shaping, Gavany, Hedron Fields of Agadine, Croja, or Crosa, Stencia, Valor's Reach, Strixhaven itself, the Fertile Lands of Salvinia, don't know that one, Enigma Ridges, Norn Seed Core, and that's the last one. And remember, if you want to actually read them, if you actually do plane chase, just go ahead and pause it on each one and you can go from there. I'm going to put them back into the envelope that it comes in, put that aside. We're going to open up the Collector's Booster Pack, which I literally never get anything, and I'm going to zoom just a little bit more. So let's go ahead and open this up. And see what I don't get, because it's never going to be anything good. So, Monastery Mentor, not bad. I actually need one of these for a deck that I have, so it's not horrible. It used to be worth some money, and it looks a little off-center on the hollow stamp, but nothing too bad. And then a Furja, Judge of Valor, the foil version in the special treatment. So, I mean, it's not monetarily valuable, but this is actually a really good card, especially for a prowess deck, so that's not horrible. So let me put them aside. Put the box aside. I'll take all these out later and I'll do something with them. But we're here for the deck, so let's go ahead and find out what the deck has in store for us. So I've shown you what the actual face commander for the deck is. I'll show you the rest of it now. Split it in half. So there's the face commander, it's Kasla. The secondary commander that they have is Saint Traft and Rem Carolus. Red, white, and blue. It's 3, so it's actually not bad for a 3/4. For a spirit human, it says that whenever it becomes tapped, you create a 1/1 red human creature token. If this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn. If it's the second time, create a 1/1 blue spirit creature token with flying. And if it's the third time, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. So kind of like Omnath, Locust of Creation's ability, it triggers once, twice, and a third time, but not a fourth time or beyond. And then it says whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, untap Saint Traft and Ren Carolus. I don't know how to say that last name. So not bad. Actually, I kind of like it. So let's look at the rest of the deck. Cloud of Fairies. It's a 2-cast 1/1 flying, and then when it enters the battlefield, you can untap 2 lands, and it cycles. Command Tower is in every deck. Commander Sphere, they're put in a lot of decks. Ephemeral Shields. So it's a 2-cast instant with Convoke. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Evolving Wilds. Fractured Power Stone is in every one of the March of the Machine decks. I like this as a 2-cast mana rock that taps to add one colorless. I don't really care about the planar die part of it at all. Goblin Instigator. Good Goblin, by the way. That's a good one. Goblin Medics. Impact Tremors. Very good card in general. Spirited Companion. Nice little reprint there. Suture Priest. Great reprint. I use this in a lot of my Aristocrat style decks. Terramorphic Expanse. Village Bellringer. Nice little reprint there. Banisher Priest. Another good reprint. This has actually got a lot of good cards singly. Arcane Signet, Battle Screech, has a flashback at creates tokens. Chant of Vitu-Ghazi, another convoke spell. This one allows you to convoke it, and then it costs 8, but then you can convoke it and make it cost cheaper with tokens and what have you, and it prevents all damage that would be dealt by creatures this turn. It's basically a fog, and then you gain life equal to all the damage prevented. Conclave Tribunal, another reprint. Devouring Light. Duergar Hedge Mage, 3-cast 2/2, it's a reprint. Fallow Sage, it's 4-cast 2/2. When it becomes tapped, you may draw a card, so that's not bad. Flight of Equinox, it's an 8-cast 4/5, but it has Convoke. That's the whole point of this deck. Improbable Alliance, Migratory Route, some more token creation. Mystic Monastery for mana fixing for the colors that this deck is. Rogue's Passage to make it so your creature can be unblockable. Seraph of the Masses, so a convoke creature originally costs 7, but you can convoke it. And then it's a star creature where its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. Skull Clamp, really good reprint, great for token decks and for aristocrat decks. Wand of World Soul, it's a 3-cast artifact. It enters tapped, taps down a white, and then the next spell you cast this turn has Convoke, so fits pretty good for this deck. Mock Chaser Phantom, 6-cast 5/5 with Convoke. Flying, Vigilance, and whenever it attacks, the next spell you cast this turn has Convoke. I believe that's one of the newer cards for this specific deck. Wildfire Awakener, so it's a white, a red, 1, and X for a 3/2. Has Convoke, and then whenever it enters the battlefield, create X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens with whenever this creature becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to target player. So it creates pingers that only have to tap, they don't have to actually activate and tap. Ichor Elixir, it's one of the cards I've been removing from all of the precons because this has some planar die shenanigans that honestly most people don't play the plane chase part, so I take it out. Path of the Ghost Hunter, so 1 white, 1 of any, and X to create X 1/1 white creature tokens with flying. And then it has Will of the Planeswalkers, starting with you. Each player votes for either Planeswalk or Chaos. If Planeswalk has more votes, you Planeswalk, and if Chaos has more votes or is tied for the most votes, Chaos ensues. And that's probably going to come out too. Deluxe Dragster. I'm not really a big fan of vehicles that much. Mist Meadow Vanisher. So it's either a blue or white. And 2 for a 3/2 Kithkin Wizard. Says whenever it becomes tapped, exile up to 1 target non-land, non-token permanent. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So it's a blinker. Nesting Dovehawk, 4-cast 2/2 Flying Bird. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you populate, which is that you create a token that is a copy of another token you already control. And whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's not bad, actually, for a token deck. That's pretty good. Kakar Wins Fury. If you haven't seen my video of my Kakar, I actually spent a lot of time opening, I think it was M19, just to pull a Kakar so I could build it for my own decks. And now it's just available in a precon, so go from there. Elspeth, Sun's Champion. It's a nice little planeswalker. It has 3 abilities that are pretty good. Upticks to create 3/1/1 soldier creature tokens. It downticks for 3 to destroy all creatures with power 4 or greater, and then it has the ultimate, which gives you an emblem with creatures you control get +2/+2 in flying, so not bad for a token deck either. The Locust God, nice reprint there. There's a lot of good reprints in this one. Angel of Finality, when it enters the battlefield, target player, you exile their graveyard. Angel of Salvation, it's a convoker. Austere Command, you can choose 2, destroy either all artifacts, all enchantments, all creatures with mana value 3 or less, or all creatures with mana value 4 or greater. Chasm Skulker, good for card draw shenanigans. I actually put this in my Knowledge's Power little 60-card precon I make. Cultivator's Caravan, not a big fan of vehicles. Again, this is one of the ones where I hate opening when I open up a pack of what this came in. Amiria's Angel has Landfall. Landfall says whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying. So this is definitely a lot of token creation shenanigans. Exotic Orchard, they put it in every precon. They need to stop. Frostboil Snarl, it's the red-blue Snarl, so if you have a mountain or an island in your hand, you can reveal it to have it come into play untapped. Here's the red-white one. Hour of Reckoning, one of the better board wipes that I like to use, in my opinion. It has Convoke. It costs 7, but you can destroy all non-token creatures. And I like to make a lot of token decks, so that's why it's one of my favorite. Keeper of the Accord, nice little reprint there. Court Keep, I'm super excited that they gave me a Court Keep again, finally. This is one of my favorite lands to play with. I put this in my Perforos deck a while ago. When I first started this channel, it was one of the first decks I went over. It taps to add a colorless, but you can also pay a red and 1 and tap it to create a 0/1 red kobold creature token named Kobolds of the Court Keep. A lot of people don't remember the kobolds or never even heard of the kobolds. They were a fun group of creatures to play with because they cost 0 mana to cast. So they were just kind of really bad creatures that you could just cast for free. So if you needed cast triggers or creatures entering the battlefield, they were fun to play with. I always did like the kobolds. Mentor of the Meek, good little card draw for white. Nadir Kraken, good token creation in blue. That's the first half. Second half we'll go over. Port Town, so this is one of those ones where you can reveal an island or a plains and it comes into play untapped. It's another one of those. Prairie Stream has the actual types, so that makes it actually a little bit better than a lot. And it can come into play untapped if you control 2 or more basic lands. It doesn't have to be a specific type. I kind of like these as a budget option for dual lands. Just so you know, they're not horrible. I've used them for a little while now, and they actually do have benefits. I wish they would have finished the actual cycle and give us the opposing ones, though. Secure the Waste, token creator as an instant. Skycloud Expanse, Filterland. The Temples, which if you've seen any of the stuff I've said, I hate these lands. The fact that these are rare and always take up a spot somewhere just pisses me off. So there's the white blue white one, the red blue one, and the white red one. They like to use those because they're very, very bad and they're not worth anything and it doesn't hurt anything. Venerated Loxodon, this is a reprint. It has Convoke, it's a 5 to cast 4/4. And when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that convoked it. So it's a nice little buff for all your creatures that help cast it. Whirlwind of Thought. Again, if you watch my card deck video, I have this in there as well. It says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you draw a card. Always, always nice to be able to have card draw, even if it is a very difficult to cast one because of the 3 different mana pips. Soul Ring in every deck again. Stoke the Flames, convoke 4 damage to any target instant. Swords to Plowshares, one of the best targeted removal spells in the game. Tetsuko, again I made a deck based on Tetsuko itself, makes all your creatures with power or toughness of 1 or less not be able to be blocked. Wear and Tear, you can either choose to wear, you can choose to tear, or you can wear and tear because this card has Fuse, which means you can cast both halves at the same time. Used to have some monetary value, it has some still, but not as much as it used to. Temporal Cleansing, 4 to cast sorcery with Convoke, and the owner of target non-land permanent puts it into their library second from the top or the bottom. So it tucks people's commanders, but unfortunately that rule has been changed so where they can just put it back in their command zone. Meeting of the Minds, convokes, and then you can draw 2 cards at instant speed. Shatter the Source, it convokes, and you can choose to either have it deal 4 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle, or you can destroy target artifact. Ren's Resolve helps get cards not into your hand, but be able to cast them. You look at the top 2 cards of your library, until end of turn, you may play those cards. So it's not card draw, this is another quasi-card draw. They're actually pretty good, especially in the right deck, so not bad. Cut Short, that'll probably be removed. What is this? Joyful Storm Sculptor, so it's a 5 to cast 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, you create 2/1/1 red and blue elemental creature tokens. And whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, it deals damage. It deals 1 damage to each opponent and each battle that they protect. Okay. It deals damage to each opponent. That's always important. Artistic Refusal, so it's a counter spell. I think that's about all of it. I think the rest of it's going to end up just being the basic lands. And then, of course, the thick version of the commander that they suggest so that you don't accidentally shuffle it in. That's what those are for. And then the tokens. You got bird tokens. You got Eldrazi, squid, tentacles, goblins. Nothing, no constructs here, so. Because there's nothing that creates constructs. So, there you go. And that, my friends, is what was in the Cavalry Charge March of the Machine Commander Precon. In my opinion, this precon, like the Rebellion Rising precon, seems pretty good for someone just starting out. It's got a lot of similarities to the Knight Tribal/Typal deck that I made for players to purchase about a year or so ago, and that was made with the same purpose of being good for learning with. Just like mine though, this can use a few small upgrades. Thankfully, I do an upgrade guide for each official precon the day after I unbox it, so please be sure to join me tomorrow for that. That's all for now, but if you could, please do the following for me. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, share this out to anyone you think would enjoy it, and visit our sponsor at arcane-fortress.com, and remember to use discount code BLUEBEAR for an additional 5% off your order if you do decide to purchase anything from them. Doing all 4 of those things would be greatly appreciated. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.